39 of Wednesday, 14th April 2021, in case 021 Benjamin Pierre-Louis, case 22 Olivia Vincent, case 262 Albert Jean-Louis, case 283 Josiane Benoit, and case 411 McG family.
Thank you. Can you please call the next witness?
Jean-Claude Dauphin.
Thank you, Mr. Dauphin. Thank you for appearing today. Nice to see you again. It's been a while since we've seen you, I think. So thank you for coming today. So the Commission asked you to appear as a witness in case 411, the Miji family, and part of their complaint concerns an incident where they claim that you were the chief customs officer at the time and you rejected invoices his family provided to prove the price of vehicles purchased and told them that you had the authority as chief customs officer to revalue the vehicles. And they claim that this was done to make them pay extra duties on the vehicles imported. And they believe that this was done at the direction of State House, as President Rene was dissatisfied with the price they had provided to Philip Dauphin, with respect to a lorry that President Rene was purchasing for Mr. Dauphin as compensation for his participation in the coup. So that's what they believed happened. So we would be grateful for anything you can tell us about that.
Yes, that was their excuse. It's true. I was in charge of customs at the time. And usually I get to the office at 7 o'clock. 7:15. I go early. I go around the area, have a look at things, vehicles at times that have been imported, containers, and then I go to the office. When I was going around, I saw it was 3 vehicles, I did 3 or 5, 3, I think it's 3 or 5, no more than second-hand vehicles imported. Then I asked the custom officer there, I said, whose vehicles are they? He said, Mr. Melji. I said, Mr. Melji is importing vehicles, second-hand vehicles. I'd like to have a look at the invoice. So they brought me the invoice and I had a look at it. I said, definitely the value was not right. It was undervalued. The law gave me the power to value it. So I valued it. And then I was not even satisfied with my value. I called, it was Mr. Moshugi, who was in charge of PWD at the time. There was PWD. They used to value vehicles and things like that. You know, well, not even vehicles, value work done and whatnot. So I called Mr. Moshugi and asked him for his advice. He came and had a look. He told me, it's all right. Your figure is right. That if I had done it, I would have put it a little higher, but it's okay. And I told Mr. Melji, I said, I'm not changing my figures. And you have the option of getting yourself a valuer, a private person to value your vehicle, or you can go to court. As simple as that. If you think my figures are wrong, then he paid. He argued, but in the end he paid. But I'm sure Mr. Melji didn't lose anything. He must have charged the duty on that vehicle to his client. So what he paid, his cost plus duty, he would have charged the client. Whether he had paid a smaller or higher fee, he would definitely give the client. So to me, he didn't lose anything.
So if you buy a car,
yeah,
and you buy it, can I buy a car that's undervalued if I get a bargain? And if I try and import it here, if I paid less for it, that wouldn't be accepted in terms of the duty?
Not really. We could revalue it, make you pay the correct value.
So even if I get a bargain, I can't really bring a bargain in here. It will be revalued for the tax purpose.
Tax purposes, yes.
So Mr. Rene never rang you and said they gave
No.
me a raw.
I will be honest with you. Mr. Rene and I didn't see eye to eye with it. But he never interfered in my job. And I know personally that guy told a friend of his, a guy went one day to see him. I don't know what happened. He said, you see that Duffy, he's a thief, he's a bastard. And when I told him, he said, my friend, never tell me anything about Mr. Duffy. He is the best officer, the most honest man that I have in this government. His friend, he told it to his friend, so, you know, I told Mr. Owen, and he told me that Duffy is a honest guy. You know? I said, but Duffy is an honest guy. He never accepts bribe. He works for his salary, his monthly salary, that's all. And if, I'm telling you frankly, at customs, if I had accepted bribe, I would have $1 million in the bank today. One person, one Italian, offered me 800,000 rupees because I charged him on his vehicles. Just that. Put it in a bank account for me in Switzerland, a private account. I kick him out of my office. I say, if you don't get out, I'll kick you out. I work for my monthly pay and that's it. I don't accept anything from anybody.
So when you were in charge, were other people that were under you, were they also followed your lead and were honest, or you think?
No, we had maybe 3, 4, no more than 4. We had to watch. We had to go around, have a look at their work and see the invoice but most were honest people at the time.
What years did you work in customs? Because you've been everywhere, haven't you?
Yeah, I was in charge of everything.
And how long were you in customs? Do you remember what years?
I think I spent not more than 5 years. Because it was Mr. Moel who was the principal secretary at the time in finance. So he wanted me to go and work in finance with him.
Sorry, which year did you say?
Phew, I cannot remember exactly.
70,
Long time back.
78, 79?
Oh. Cannot remember.
Well, there was this issue of that Meg G suggested that Rene was doing this in relation to Dauphin getting a vehicle.
That's what I was told. Right?
Yeah, so it must have been just, soon after the coup.
No. Yeah, it was after the coup. But I must tell you, when it never interfered in my life. Because one day he told me something, and I told him, I said, sir, I've got respect for you, I respect it, but I wouldn't like you to tell me anything for my job. If you want to give me an instruction in writing, fair and well. But sorry, my job is my job. I do it the way I think is fair.
So in customs, so everything that comes in, you check the value that the value is correct.
Not everything. You know, Nigeria importation, for example, food and things like that, import we don't buy. But certain things, yes, we do check.
But not food, so not stuff that was being bought in by SMB. I mean, we've had allegations here that SMB used a middleman in London to inflate the prices of the food that they bought in so that they would... Did you ever hear about that?
Madam, I almost lost my job because of SMB. Because I went to tell the president what was going on there. And he told Mr. Balalji, and he himself, I think, got mad at me. Because I knew a lot of things. Can
you tell us what you know about that?
No, I don't. I think They imported with friends. For example, there was rice. He was importing rice from a company there, and he was overcharging. And what else did he do? There was I remember they sold three hotels or 2 hotels. You know, they acquired hotels and they sold 3. It was under Valabji. It was a parastatal. They sold that thing. I cannot remember exactly. Then 33 million rupees was transferred to an account in Guernsey. Not Jersey, but the other one. I forgot it. Guernsey or something, close to Jersey there.
Guernsey?
33 million was transferred to an account in the Bank of Australia and New Zealand Bank. I saw that, I went to tell him. Then I almost lost my job. I'm sorry to say. I thought all people were doing their job properly in this country. They were smart, but unfortunately quite a few were not dishonest people.
In whose account did the money go?
It was no. The account was called Forest Hill Holding. That account.
It was called what?
Forest Hill Holding. Forest Hill Holding. I don't know who was in charge of that. I didn't do any further.
So the money was taken from a parastatal and transferred into that account.
I remember there was Beauvalon Hotel, 3 hotels that had been acquired by the government. They sold that. Anyway.
And when you went and complained about it, Mr. Rene nearly fired you, or?
Well, he didn't appreciate it, I know. And I'm sorry, he told the guy, and the guy sort of looked at me with eyes. I didn't care. I had done my job. I could have been rich at customs. I was offered so many bribes.
I mean, it sounds like it, right?
But I never accepted anything. Even during, for Christmas, I think they used to send me, small gifts, and I returned everything. Or I told them to go and give it, if it was wine, go and give it to charity, like St. Elizabeth Convent and things like that. I didn't accept anything.
So Mr. Rene knew that people were, like ripping off the people. Did he know that there were individuals that were using parastatals and the system to the detriment of the people of Seychelles?
I don't know, maybe yes, but for what do you call it, SMB, he knew, because I told him. And then there was a lady who came and told me, she says, Jean-Claude, when you've got something, you see, keep it to yourself. Don't go up there to tell anybody. So, what? How do you know this? Okay, forget about it. I've told you I'm friendly with you. I've told you, just keep quiet. Said, all right, I'll keep quiet.
Was that a message from Mr. Rene, you reckon?
I don't know.
Who was the lady?
How that lady knew about it, I don't know. But she told me.
Was it somebody who worked in his office?
No.
I think the other merchants knew about it. They knew about it. Someone gave them the invoices. Mrs. Oliagi gave evidence about that. They knew they were inflating the prices on goods. But unfortunately, I think they were going to bring an action, but it never happened, because they themselves were being penalized all the time for this price control, for not charging the correct price.
But SMB was Anyway, I was not happy with
But
that.
wasn't it Rene who was chairperson of the board of SMB anyway?
I don't know. Yeah?
Yes, he was.
It could well be. But
Must have known.
I told him once, didn't pay, and that lady told me, Claude, when you got to keep quiet, I said, forget about it. I want to live peacefully. At that time, you could have lost your life as well. So I kept quiet.
And another thing that the Mijis think is that the price control on vehicles came in when they had refused to give a good price for Mr. Dauphin's truck.
There was no price control on vehicle, madam. As far as I can remember, there was no price control on vehicle. Price control was on foodstuffs and things like that. But no, I cannot remember.
Were you aware of this issue about Philippe Dauphin's truck
Yeah,
at the time?
I was. Somebody told me that he wanted to buy a pickup, and he told about Melji.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
So I said, somebody told me that he wanted to buy a pickup from there, and he had gone to president. And I told him that Philippe Dauphin didn't tell me anything, and the president didn't tell me anything, because he knew I would have said something to him. You know, I had respect for the president, but I was not afraid of him.
Yeah. People are calling because they want you to speak in Creole and everyone else to speak in Creole except I'm allowed to speak in English. Just as well for me, right?
Okay.
Sorry.
Yes, normally I pick up on this.
So,
Yeah, carry on. Explique-nous un petit peu encore ça, bonnes affaires qui SMB, Tinobu, fait venir quelque chose sans qui price control s'y apply et qui sont capables à payer duty.
Mais autant qu'il me rappelle, madame, it's such a long time, I forget that things easily these days. I'm almost 80, so I start forgetting things. But vraiment, mon quoi, pour dire, someone pour y bâtiment.
Oui, à cause de les autres demandes qui viennent ici, qui disent nous, qui SMB, si les autres invoices passent par l'autre la compagnie en Angleterre, qui se remontent les autres prix.
Oui, tu fais paquet de week.
and were you in customs when the two cars came in, the Maseratis cars?
No,
No.
I'd left them.
Et ça truck, ça camion qui est venu pour Dauphin là, qui M. McGean fait référence avec, qui va être payé par le bureau président.
Pas rappel, madame, si tu payes lui-même, mais voilà, il va payer. À cause, Melji, il fait venir son pick-up, il paye son pick-up, il paye son duty. Mais après ça, il paye, il livre sa cause. Nous faut prendre, nous là dans le douane. À cause, it's a transaction entre
Les autres.
yeah. Ça dit monde qui vend, ça dit monde qui achète.
I mean, it seems that the president appreciated your honesty, but didn't expect it from everybody.
I don't know, but because I told him once, I said, "Sir, I'm paid to do a job, and I do my job. I couldn't care less who the person is in front of me is. I do my job, which I'm paid to do."
Et mon mari n'est pas si facile, c'est moi, cause pareil, on déjà dit nous avant.
Madame.
L'état aussi dans le département la terre, non?
Oui, madame.
Côté petit téléphone, dit ou passe ça, donne ça la tête, tel dimanche, etc.
Yeah, mon appelle mon titi. Envoie-moi un mémo ou envoie-moi un lettre. Parce que mon pas tout pour une conversation sur le téléphone. Pour parler du monde par mon pour.
Ça bonne affaire, il passe mettre en écrit seulement.
Non, il y en a qui s'envoient un mémo pour moi. Privately. Non.
And I think we've confirmed by other witnesses that all the PSs, they did have their phones bugged. So your phone, yes. So your phone would have been bugged.
My office phone was bugged. My home line was bugged. I remember one day, I don't know, it was about 5:30, 6 o'clock, or 5 o'clock. I was talking on the phone, and I heard voices. My God, I started swearing, and then my wife came running. "Jean-Claude, what are you swearing at?" And she got really mad at me. I said, sorry. Zou hat du monde, je pas honte, coup de conversation du monde. Ça n'est bien, pas honte. On dit ok, ah oui. Ainsi. Moi, quand mon office, mon téléphone d'office, mon téléphone dans la cour, tout ce peu. Et
Well, it was everybody. So apparently it was also the ministers, their phones were bugged. The majors in the army, their phones were bugged. I mean, everyone's phone was bugged according to the evidence we've received from people that did the bugging.
it's a shame. Anyway, I did my job, that's all. I'm happy. Nobody can point a finger at me. Everybody is friendly with me. All importers. I did my job, that's all. Vous gagnez payer pour faire l'ouvrage, vous faire l'ouvrage, c'est ça. Vous êtes capable d'en démettre. On a dit 5 mètres. C'est tout. Si vous êtes satisfait avec sa job, vous quittez où aller.
Or if they're not satisfied with your telephone calls.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Duffy, for clearing that up about the Miji family. We appreciate that, for confirming what we already knew, that we've heard before about SMB and what was going on there. We don't have any further questions for you unless you have anything you believe we should know that would be helpful.
Sorry, the Melji family, I revalue this pickup, because the law had, and then I brought in somebody from PWD. Because I said, God, maybe on dit mon PWD pour faire une revaluer. On vous dit non, pas gaz quoi pour faire un smell du même emballage. Ça à l'époque, monsieur Monchouki.
Oui. Mais monsieur McGee, tu connais ça pour dire ou tu demandes comme par un independent revaluer?
On va te dire. À cause de te dire, les motivations que on donne, on value, moi je fais, je dis, je me dis on a une option. Ou quand on évalue, fait value pickup, or you can go to court. Yeah. Alors, moi, parce que comme si fatigue-moi encore avec lui.
Was it a big difference in price?
Not really, madam. In fact, I stuck to mine.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. Thank you very much again for coming. It's been very helpful. We really appreciate it.
Okay.
And we may see you again, I hope. But we will adjourn now, return at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.